Hi everyone. We're going to be, it says Unit 1 here. This is actually Unit 3 for us. We're going to be starting our new unit today. It's called the Universe. So we're going to look at some things about space and a little bit of the history of it, but also different discoveries that have been made, things like that. I think you'll really like it. When I first started teaching this unit, I didn't know a lot about it, so I found it a little difficult, but as I've gotten more into it, I actually find this one to be the most interesting. So I hope you guys experience that as well. So this first picture is, of course, a picture taken by the Hubble telescope. Haha, just kidding. JK, this is not real. This is just an artist's idea of the universe. So yeah, not real. Okay. So we're going to go through a series of questions here, and you have the notes here. So how often do you? So the first one is think about the universe. Some of you like to think about the universe a lot. So you're going to circle what you think there. So never 3 or 4 times a year, once or twice a month, once or twice a week, or every day. So some of you will literally be every day, which is kind of cool. Some of you are really going to be never because it's just not something that you think about. There's no right or wrong answer here, of course. It's just how you feel. Okay, so how often do you think about your insignificance of the universe? So sometimes people are like, what does this mean? So insignificance is sort of, it's similar to saying not important. Sometimes we don't like to think about that. We like to think we're very important, and you are very important to many people, right? But if you look at the scope of the universe, and this is a picture of our galaxy here. This is the Milky Way. This is where we are located, and you are a tiny person on a tiny planet in a giant galaxy, right? So not very important. So how often do you ever think about that? Next question, how often do you look up at the night sky? Some of you probably have cabins, or you go camping, or maybe your family goes for drives at night, whatever. So how many of you look at the night sky? You have to kind of leave the city limits to really get these kind of visuals. I know for me, it's when my family goes camping and we're away from all the city lights and you can see the stars like this. So this is the Milky Way that you can see through here, which is really, really cool. I've only seen it a handful of times, probably like 4 or 5 times, and because the conditions have to be right, it has to be really clear at night to see it, but it's amazing when you do see it. So I hope you get that chance sometime. So how often do you look at the night sky? All right, the next one, we're just going to talk about solar events here. Do you know what these solar events are? Now, we had a partial eclipse, I think it was 2 years ago now, so you guys would have been in, what, grade 7? It was in the summer, so I don't know if you were able to see it. Now, unfortunately, Winnipeg was really cloudy on that day, which was really too bad. I missed it, and I was really mad about it because where I was super cloudy. People who were maybe more patient than I was did manage to see it, and that's what they saw. So this is a clear image of it. This is not in Winnipeg, but this one here is taken in Winnipeg, this image, and it was, again, 2 summers ago. And so eclipse, do you know what an eclipse is? Yeah, some of you know, which is cool. So it's when the moon comes between the earth and the sun, so it blocks out part of the sun. And I actually remember when I was a little kid, I think I was in like grade 3, and there was like pretty much a full solar eclipse, which meant it got dark in the day, which is a pretty incredible thing to have experienced. What's this? Anyone know? Sometimes they call it a blood moon, and we get these periodically. There's a really strong one probably about 3 years ago that I saw, so we'll learn about those too. And then what is this one here? Some people, we call them shooting stars, but are they actually stars? No, they are not. They're actually meteorites when they hit our atmosphere. But again, we'll learn about that in a little bit. Some of you may have seen those before in the sky. There's a meteor shower. Usually it happens in July or August. The Perseid, I think, the Perseid I can't remember the name of it. Meteor shower. Anyways, it'll be happening this summer, so it happens every year. So you'll get a chance to see it if you sort of leave the city and get to someplace dark and look up in the sky. Now, constellations. Do you know any? Now, most people tend to know this one here. So what's this one called? Yeah, it's the Big Dipper. We also have the Little Dipper. Does anyone know this one? The other one here. This is Orion, and you can find Orion. Orion's easy to find in the sky because of these 3 cluster stars, and it's the belt of Orion. So if you look here, this would be like the head, the body, and then he's got shooting an arrow here. And this is his belt, and then his legs there. So the belt of Orion is these 3 stars clustered together. So those 2 are pretty easy to pick out of the sky. Sometimes people see Polaris, the North Star. Anyways, you'd probably know some of them. All right, next question. Would you go to space? Big question. So you can check off there. Yes, you'd go to a black hole, even though you would die. Yes, to Mars, another planet or exoplanet. Yes, you'd go to the moon. Yes, but not to any destination, only outside of Earth's atmosphere, or never. I have to admit, I am definitely in the never category, but my guess is that most of you probably are not, because I feel like teenagers tend to be a little more adventurous than maybe older people like me. All right. Who are some famous people that you associate with astronomy? So this is a collage of scientists who all have been involved in space science. You've probably seen this guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He does the Cosmos, and yeah, you would have seen him. He does a lot of TV stuff, so potentially you would have seen him somewhere. Stephen Hawking is here, so he's another physicist. This guy here is Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon. Of course, we have Einstein. What's his name again? Can't remember his name right now. I think that's actually Copernicus. We've got Carl Sagan. Let's see. Well, whatever. There's a bunch of them, obviously. Newton. I think this is Newton here. A lot of famous science people. Okay, so what is the This is always interesting. What is the difference between astronomy and astrology? So when we say astrology, this is talking about what your sign is. So, for example, I am a Capricorn. My sons are Leos, and one's a Leo, one's a Virgo, husband's a Taurus. So the astrology is referred to as your zodiac sign. It is in it here. Astrology is the study of how positions of the stars have a supposed influence on events and on the lives of people. Has astrology been scientifically proven? No, it hasn't. Lots of people believe in it, but it is not rooted in science at all. Whereas astronomy is the scientific study of stars, planets, and other objects in outer space. And actually, you may not know this, but at Maples Collegiate, we have a standalone astronomy science course that if you're interested, you can take. You can take it in your grade 10 year or your grade 11 year. So if this is a unit or subject that's super interesting to you, I would recommend you take it. All right, now, so how do you get your info, or what resources have helped educate you about the universe? So check all that apply. So this on your notes there, maybe some of you see news stories, YouTube channels. People watch YouTube videos on space stuff, television shows such as Cosmos or other. So you can write down your answer there. Next question there. What is the Big Dipper? So A, is it a constellation or an asterism or a spoon? And A, it is a constellation. Hopefully you got that one right. Now the second one, what is an astronomical unit? Not many of you will know this one. An astronomical unit is defined here as the distance between the sun and the earth. Okay, so 1 AU, 1 astronomical unit, is the distance between the sun, this is the sun here, and the earth over here. Okay, now, this is a video on the scale of the solar system. Okay, so you will have taken this in school before, our solar system. So we know that the sun is in the center, right? Actually, let's go back here. Okay, okay, anyways, I took the too far off. But let's put our sun in the middle here. And then what do we have after that? We've got different planets, right? Now, we know that they're moving in ellipses. So we've got the first one, hopefully you remember what that is, Mercury. And then, let's go Venus. And then we have Earth. And we've got these ellipses here. And these are the orbits, right? So, that's our sun. And et cetera, right? We're not done after that. So we often see these, we see diagrams like this. Now, what's important to note is that these are not to scale. So what that means is that this is not the actual size of the solar system. We draw it like this because it's easier to see. But if we drew the sun this size, the shape or the size of Mercury here would be like smaller than that. It would be absolutely tiny. So I'm going to link to a video that I want you to watch on the scale of the solar system. And it's quite interesting. So make sure you watch that one. Now, we have different ways of understanding the universe. So hopefully you guys have noticed that we're trying to incorporate traditional knowledge, so of the Indigenous people of Canada, into science courses, well, into all courses. So traditional knowledge and science. So basically, to start off, I want you to write all you know about the Northern Lights. So on the back of your sheet, pause the video here and just write, what do you know about the Northern Lights? And these are the Northern Lights here. Some of you will have seen them before, some of you won't have. I hope you all get a chance to at some point in your life because they're quite phenomenal. Then I'm going to get you, this is actually a video. This is a video by an elder. And he talks about the Northern Lights. So I want you to watch this video and then I want you to answer these two questions here. So number one, what Wilfred Buck, he's the elder. What was he told about the Northern Lights when he was a child? It's kind of an interesting story. And then I want you to think, why do you think this was the legend of his people? So there's reasons why maybe they told people that. So answer those two questions and then we'll discuss them tomorrow. And this is the science behind the Northern Lights. So I'm going to also get you to watch just a very quick video on what the Northern Lights actually are. So this would be not related to legend, but what the true science is behind it. Okay, so we have no assignment today for today's lesson other than these two questions. So, oopsie. So these two questions, oh, that's why. Okay, so these two questions here, this is your assignment. And it's going to be due on Thursday, or what day is it today? This will be due Friday then. All right. Okay.